Halo Mom, balik lagi bersama gue Igi di Gaya Berkendara. Jadi gini, di samping gue nih ada Mike Pryde. Dia ada founder dari Chapter 2 New Zealand, aka Selandia Baru. Jadi kan dia ngomongnya Inggris nih, jadi gue terpaksa ngomong Inggris ya. Udah lama nih nggak ngomong Inggris, semoga gue nggak bego-bego amat gitu ya kan. Oke, let's start. Oke, hi Mike. How are you, man?
I'm good, thanks.
Welcome to Jakarta, Indonesia. So how long have you been here?
I've been here since last Monday. I arrived here from KL.
Oh, really?
So I did a little bit of riding in KL with some friends and our new partner there.
Oh, really?
Now I've spent the last week and a half here in Indonesia.
Indonesia. So how many cities you visit?
So I arrived on Monday. We did some riding on Tuesday morning in Jakarta. That afternoon we took a car down to Bandung.
Bandung.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So nice.
Oh, really?
Yeah, did some riding with our dealer down there, NCC.
NCC, yeah.
Really nice shop, lots of gravel riding there, very good community. And then we went back to Jakarta, and then we took the train down to Jogja.
Jogja?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a cool place, man.
Everybody tells me Jogja is the number one place.
Number one,
and
yeah.
I can see why, right? Beautiful scenery, lovely mountains to ride in, and the temperature was actually a little bit cooler than Jakarta.
Oh, really?
So it was quite comfortable.
Why is that? I wonder.
I know, you tell me.
What do you think
You're the
about
local.
the people, the road, the food, and everything?
Well, there was a big difference, right? So in Jakarta, obviously a big city, lots of people, very crowded, and the cycling here is always between the cars, zipping in and out of the cars.
Oh, yeah.
And you know, you've got to have your eyes and ears everywhere, right? Whereas in Jogja and in Bandung, you're looking at the scenery, you're looking at the mountains.
Yeah.
But you know, in all those places, the food has been fantastic. I'm not so good on spicy food, so I love the food.
Everything is spicy.
Keep it mild, but otherwise the food's been fantastic, and I love traveling around.
That's awesome, man. Yeah. So, can you give us a background about you, so the people who watch this video can understand about you?
Of course. So, I'm Michael Pryde from Chapter 2. I'm one of the founders of Chapter 2 from Auckland, New Zealand. So the other founder is my father. We're partners in the business, and the reason why it's called Chapter 2 is that we actually had Chapter 1, which was my father's company.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
So my father had a very successful water sports business in windsurfing.
Oh, windsurfing, yeah.
So it was a company based in Hong Kong, but he's from New Zealand originally.
Okay.
Yeah, so he moved to Hong Kong in the 60s and developed a really successful water sports business. But my personal history is that I was an architect.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I trained in, I was educated in architecture in the UK, in Manchester. And then in 1996, I returned to Hong Kong, worked as an architect. Actually, my first project was Hong Kong Airport. So when they were building the Hong Kong new airport, I was one of the architectural team members on that new project. And I worked on that for about 3 to 4 years. So that was a great experience, right? So you graduate, you land on the biggest project in the world with one of the most famous architects. So from a design perspective, that really set me up really nicely. But then around 2004, I got a little bit sick of architecture.
What do you mean sick?
Long hours, lots of long, crazy hours. And it wasn't necessarily the lifestyle that I wanted, right? I wanted, the money was good, but I wanted to be able to enjoy the money, be able to travel, visit different places. But you know, the long hours meant that I just couldn't do the things that I really enjoyed, including the sports that I enjoyed. So when my father in 2004 said, listen, if you're not happy with architecture, why don't you come and join me? So I left architecture, I joined his company. I did a few different things in the company to start with.
Oh, really?
But then in 2008, the company was looking at a way to grow the company, right? So in the water sports business, they were the number one. So I guess in the world of cycling, there's Giant, right? Giant is the number one in the bicycle world.
Oh, yeah.
Neil Pryde was the number one in the water sports hardware business. Windsurfing, kite surfing, very successful. But it was a very niche market, so they were looking to grow into something much bigger. So they asked me, okay, what's the next big thing? And because I had a passion for cycling, I was racing bikes.
Yeah, but what makes you wanna, build Chapter 2?
Well,
what's the story behind it?
So the story behind Chapter 2, the name, is that Neil Pryde bicycles, which we launched in 2010, was the Chapter 1. Okay. So we launched Neil Pryde bikes within the Neil Pryde company in 2010, and I was the boss of that division.
Okay.
So I ran that from 2010 until 2015, and then in 2015 my father sold the business. So when he sold the business, the new owners wanted to focus on water sports business.
Only?
Yeah, so I left the company, my father sold the business, so he left the company. So the two of us created Chapter 2.
Oh, that's
so
awesome.
The name is comes from the history
Yeah.
of Neil Pryde. So we have all the design and R&D based in New Zealand. So I live there now and I do all the work there in design. And with my architectural background as a designer and my experience with Neil Pryde bikes, designing bikes, it meant that when it came to chapter 2, it was actually quite easy. We were up and running within months. It was quite quick.
Yeah, but with all the brands in the world, the road bike brands, the bicycle brands, what are your goals?
Well, obviously with any business, the goal is to be successful, right?
Yes.
But from a brand point of view, we want to be clearly different from the other brands.
Yeah, what's the difference?
And like you said, it's a very crowded marketplace. There's a lot of good brands out there. So what makes chapter 2 different or unique?
Yes.
And I think a couple of the key things that we learned from chapter 1, which is Neil Pryde, is that just because you're a big successful company, it doesn't mean that you can enter a new market and be successful.
Yes,
right? You have to have
right.
something a little bit different, a little bit unique.
Yes.
Just because you've got money and a bit of muscle doesn't guarantee success.
I know that.
So what we did with chapter 2 is that everything that we do is about being a little bit different. So first of all, in the bicycle world, most people sell bicycles.
I know.
We sell frame sets. So when you buy a chapter 2, you're actually only buying a frame set.
Why not complete? I mean, like Cervelo and everything.
Yeah. There's a couple of reasons for that, right? So first of all, we want to make sure that anybody that owns a chapter 2 has a very personal experience. Right?
Okay.
When you buy a complete bike from any of the major brands,
like
somebody has decided what wheel set should be the best for you, what group set should be the best for you, even the saddle, which is very personal.
Yes.
Right? We want to make sure that everybody that buys a chapter 2 actually is actively involved in making every small decision about their bike.
Okay.
Yeah, so
I like that. I like that.
So it's very personal, right? So you buy the frame set, and then we have many good dealers around the world. And when you buy a chapter 2, it's not buying a bike; it's a project.
Okay.
Yeah. So from start to finish, you're choosing the frame that you want, the color that you want, the size that fits you, and then you're going to sit down with the dealer, and based on your budget, your requirements, where you live, how you ride, you're going to choose the wheel set that fits you. So at the end of the day, it's something that's very personal. Right? It's not just about selling another bike. And the other thing that we're very unique about is that most bicycle companies basically have a 12-month season. So they launch a particular product, and then after 12 months, they either have a new color or a new price point because the group sets change and the wheel sets change. We don't have that. So our products have no season. Every frame that we produce, every 3 to 4 months, we have a new color. So if we've got 5 different models, it means that pretty much every month we have a new color.
So is this like a boutique brand? What does it mean, like boutique itself?
Boutique means that it's a very personal experience, right? So if you buy a major brand like a Trek or a Specialized, the ones that you see in the group rides, there's a very good chance that somebody else, your friend, your buddy, has the same bike, the same color, and the same.
I feel that.
So with the chapter 2, not only are you very involved in choosing every component and part, but because each color is produced in a small quantity, like between 150 to 200 units available all around the world.
That's it? Only 250?
Yeah. So the recent color that we just launched, like the black with the unidirectional carbon fiber and the gold details, we're only making 35.
What?
Yeah. So the chances of somebody else owning the same bike in your local community is very unique. And the reason why we do that is that, I admire the handmade bikes. There's a lot of really nice bikes like Enigma, Firefly.
Yes.
But those are handmade products, and from a business point of view, it's quite difficult to scale, right? And there's long lead time. So if you buy one of those handmade products, you could be waiting between 12 to 18 months. But with our product, you can have it right now, but you still have that very personal product.
Oh,
right?
wow, yeah, that's right.
And at least in our opinion, it's at an affordable price, because those handmade products can be quite expensive and you have to wait a long time. But with ours, it's readily available and it's at an affordable price. And because we price our frame sets about 15 to 20% less than the, say, Tour de France brands.
Yes.
So if you're buying a frame set from us, you're saving 20%, which means that you could choose, instead of an Ultra group set, you can choose a Dura Ace group set. Instead of a mid-level wheel set, you can choose maybe a Campagnolo Bora wheel set. So suddenly the final product becomes a better bike.
I know.
So it's all about getting the best possible product to the end consumer.
Wow.
So yeah, there was a lot there,
That's
right?
awesome.
That's what we're all about.
Okay, let me see the bike. Okay, you guys at home, you want to see the bike? Yes, I agree.
Is it your first time here in Japan?
No, third time.
Third time.
Yeah.
How do you like it here?
I love it.
Yeah?
Yeah, the riding here is fun.
Sini, di
Terre.
sana ya?
Yeah.
Okay. So, thank you, bro.
Cheers.
So this one, I heard Teres, the one who started it all.
Yeah, so this is the bike that I started designing back in 2015.
Yes.
And it generally takes around 18 months from the first idea until we're ready to start shipping the product. So this is the Terre,
Terre.
and the word Terre is actually swift and fast in Maori.
Swift and fast.
Yeah, so in New Zealand, the Maori culture is the local indigenous population. So all of our products are, the naming convention is based around the Maori words.
Oh, that's
So it's always about the
awesome.
storytelling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, most of my friends call chapter 2 is like pretty bikes.
Pretty bikes. Wow, we like pretty bikes, right?
Yeah, we like pretty bikes. I mean, like, can you tell me those weightness very important or aerodynamic is very important?
So it really depends on which bike that you're buying from us, and also what type of riding, and sometimes even where you live.
Yeah.
Right. So if you live in a place where there's a lot of flat roads, then we normally would recommend a aero bike. So the aero bike that we have is called the Rere. Which was recently replaced by the Coco, which has fully integrated cabling. But when we launched this one here, the Terre, in 2017, this was a more classic kind of look, right? So it's got the horizontal top tube, like an old Colnago or an old Pinarello. And I think when I was designing this, I was dreaming of those old bikes that I used to ride. So I had this kind of idea that it wanted to have this classic silhouette. But this is a very much an all-round bike, so it's good at everything.
Or this is for all around?
It's all round. You can ride this anywhere that you want. You know, it's good in the hills, it's good at descending. It's aero, but not specifically just for aero. So that's why we have different bikes for different purposes. So this one is all round. We've got the Rere and the Coco, which is aero. We even have a Huru, which is the lightweight one. And Huru means feather, like a feather, lightweight, like a feather.
Lightest, yeah.
Yeah, so, you know, our concept is really providing people with options, right? Not only options in terms of the parts and the build that you could work with on your dealer, but also even the type of bike. So we've actually built up quite a nice fan base that some of our customers have more than one bike. So,
really?
you know, they might have a Terre, which is the first bike that they bought from us.
Yes.
And then when we introduced the Coco recently,
They bought
all
again?
they buy the Coco because on some days they want to be aero, and other days maybe they want to do hill climbing and maybe a little bit of light gravel.
That one is called the one who climb Huru?
The Huru,
Okay.
yeah. So it's about giving people options.
Okay, I wrote this in Audax 200K because my friends David here borrowed me his bike. I mean, like, this baby can dance. I mean, like, it's fun.
That's the point. Bikes should be fun.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Someday I'm gonna buy this bike.
Yeah.
Amen.
Yeah. But you know, the interesting thing that what you just said just now about bikes being fun is actually how we measure our success. Because,
what do you mean?
Well, if you think about it, right, all the big brands, all they care about is winning the big races, right? All their marketing is all around Tour de France, winning races, podium photos. Okay, we're not a big enough brand to be able to sponsor a Tour de France team, right? But when I get a customer that comes back to me and sends me a message, Mike, I just went out and rode your bike for the first time. I love it. So much fun.
Yeah, so much fun.
That is actually the best compliment that we can have. If you win a race on one of our bikes, okay, part of it is because the bike is fast, but a lot of it is because you're a fit rider, you know, you've trained well.
Yes.
But if people come back and say, you know what, your bike was just so much fun to ride, but why else do you ride? You ride for fun.
Yes.
Right? Not everybody is a professional athlete, right?
Yeah.
Not everybody wants to win a race, but everybody wants to have fun. So that's the key for us about how we measure how well we're doing, by the amount of compliments, the amount of positive energy that we get from our customers.
So you mean Chapter 2 bike is for everybody?
Every bike should be for everybody. I don't think that, or some of the brands at least, because they spend so much money on sponsoring pro athletes, that they have to design the bikes to be lower stack, longer reach,
lightest,
and may not be the best fit for people. But you know, a lot of people want to buy the dream, and the dream is to own what the Tour de France winner has. And I get that, right?
Yeah, I get that.
I used to be like that. You know? Who doesn't want a Colnago, right? Colnagos are beautiful. If you could buy a Formula One car from Lewis Hamilton, people probably would, right?
Because they want to feel that.
They want to buy the dream.
Yeah, they want to buy the dream.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we come from it from a slightly different perspective. Our dream is just to be for people to go out there and have a good time and enjoy their cycling.
That's it. That's all I need.
That's the measure of success for us.
Oh, that's good. Okay, let's bring another bike, please.
This is the Aero one.
The Aero one. Okay. Yeah, the take out. The take out, please. Thank you. Can you tell me a little bit about Rare?
Yeah. So the Rare was the second bike that we designed, right? So generally it takes, as I said right at the beginning, it takes 18 months.
18 months?
From start of a design until we start shipping.
It's like more than a year.
Yeah, so if you think about it, you know, since we started in 2017 until now, we've launched 6 models.
Okay.
So that means that basically there's always 2 new designs on the drawing board at any one time.
Okay.
So even whilst the Terre, the first model, was in production, this was already being in design. So my design process actually never stops. I'm always designing.
You designed it yourself?
Yeah, so I took my architectural skills and experience to design the bikes. And then we work with the engineers for the carbon fiber layup to make sure that we get the specifications right. So this was our second bike that we launched in 2018, the Rare, which is our Aero model. And actually until recently, this was one of our best-selling models.
Oh, this one is best-selling?
Yeah.
I thought Terre the one is best-selling.
No, Terre was at the beginning.
Oh, at the beginning.
But, you know, people want the latest and the greatest,
yeah,
right?
Oh, yeah.
So every time you launch a new model, that one takes over the previous one.
So there are only, not only road bike in Chapter 2, right? There's gravel.
Yeah, so for us, the gravel market was really interesting because personally myself, I spend most of my time riding road bikes, but actually my own cycling history came from mountain biking. So I raced downhill mountain biking for many years.
What? Mountain biking?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so downhill racing.
Seriously?
My own personal cycling experience actually comes from mountain biking. As a kid, I grew up on BMXs, so the natural transition is from BMX to mountain bikes.
Okay.
So when I was studying architecture in England, I actually raced mountain bikes most of my time.
You race?
Yeah, so I was a downhill racer. So I raced downhill for about 3 to 4 years at a very high level. So I was traveling all around the world racing downhill mountain biking.
I mean, like, wow, man.
Yeah. But unfortunately, I have 4 screws in my knees.
You got hurt?
And 4 screws in my shoulders.
Oh my God,
so
that's not good.
After all those years of racing, I decided to stop. But actually, road biking was a really great way to stay fit for mountain bike racing. So when I stopped mountain biking, it was really easy for me to go into road racing. I started road racing, and my passion for design then developed into road products.
Road products. So the gravel one, that's the only one model, right?
Yeah, at the moment we've got the AO, and AO means earth in Maori.
Oh.
So the whole idea is that you could ride on the earth, right? The dirt and the earth in New Zealand. Oh, so that bike is a brilliant product. So that one actually took a little bit longer. It took about 24 months to design.
24 months to design?
Well, it's like you ask a designer how long is a piece of string, right? It can go on forever.
Wow.
But at some point you've got to come to market, right? So you've got to make some decisions. But we went through a very lengthy process of trying to figure out what the market was all about, what people wanted. So the AO is very much an adventure type of bike. Wow. So it takes 650B wheels, up to 47mm tires.
47?
So it's quite wide. Yeah. And then with a 700C wheel, you can put up to 42. Okay. And the great thing about the AO is that you can actually adjust the rear center.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so the rear center is adjustable about up to 15mm. So you can actually change the wheelbase. So if you're looking for something that's a little bit faster for steering, if you're doing some racing gravel, you can actually shorten the wheelbase. But if you're doing like an Audax or a endurance event or adventure riding
Yes.
with luggage, you can actually increase the wheelbase, and that makes the bike a little bit steadier.
that's good.
Yeah, so it's one of the unique features of
That's
the
the
AO.
unique selling point.
Yeah, exactly, and it sells very well. We've seen, since 2020 when we launched the AO, our gravel business has continued to grow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Amazing, man.
Yeah, it's so much fun to ride as well.
So what's next for chapter 2?
So the next product that we're launching, which is going to be in early 2023, will be a racing gravel bike.
Racing gravel bike.
So we've taken all the things that we've learned from our road bikes and from the AO, and we've got, I guess, if the Toa and the AO had a baby,
that's
that
the
would
one.
be the new one.
So the name? You
It's
come up
called,
with the
it's
name?
called the Kaha, which means courage in Maori.
Courage. So this is faster, lighter?
Faster, lighter, stiffer.
Is it for race? For like
Yeah, it's for racing. So
Kanza?
if you were going to Dirty Kanza, which is now called
Yeah.
Unbound Gravel, or SBT, some of these bigger events, that's the weapon that you want to take with you. It's got a lightweight carbon frame. It's got a luggage compartment in the down tube, so you can open it up and put your
wow.
spare tubes. And we've actually designed it to be quite flexible. So instead of having like an aero seat post, which some of the brands are doing,
Yes.
we actually just put a standard 27.2 seat post.
That's good.
So if you want to put a dropper post in there, you have the flexibility to do that.
Yes.
And it also is designed to accept our new gravel handlebar, which is called the Mana Gravel.
Oh,
and
so there's a chapter 2
so
dropper.
a few months ago we launched a gravel bar which fits on the AO, but it's already been designed for internal cabling.
Oh.
And it's got a 12-degree flare. It's available in 6 different sizes, and that handlebar will fit onto the new frame
Oh, that's good.
with all the cables all integrated inside, so it's not visible.
So when
it's a
this
really
bike
clean design.
gonna launch?
We're hoping to plan to launch that hopefully either in January or around March. Yeah, so exciting times.
Exciting times, man. So what do you think about gravel here in Indonesia, the nature and everything?
Actually, unfortunately, I haven't had a chance to ride gravel.
Oh,
So
man, you
next
should
time I
try.
come back, I'm definitely going to do some gravel
you
riding.
should, man.
This trip was a little bit complicated because normally when I go on a business trip
Yes.
or a community trip, I bring my own bike. But because of COVID, a lot of luggage is going missing, right? Because the amount of people that are working at airports is a lot less than before.
Yeah.
So there's a good chance that my bike would go missing. So because I was going to KL and coming here,
Yes.
I decided just to ride a bike provided by a local partner. So in the last few days, I've been riding this Rare.
But your bike is everywhere.
Yeah, so hopefully if I come back next time, which hopefully will be in the near future, I'll bring, if I can, bring 2 bikes. One road,
One
so we can do
gravel.
some riding on the road, and then I'll do some gravel riding as well.
So Indonesian nature is like suitable for this chapter 2 products, right?
Well, it's a little bit of everything, right? So if you want to ride on the road, we have some good road products.
Yes.
If you want to ride gravel, you can do that as well.
Yes.
But actually, one of the really good things about a gravel bike, like the AO or the new Kaha, is that we find that a lot of customers actually have 2 sets of wheels, right? So if you're riding on a road, you can put the narrower tires on.
Yes.
So still a 700C wheel, but maybe
okay.
a 25 or a 28 millimeter, so you can still ride fast with your friends. But on a weekend when you want to do a bit of gravel riding,
it's
you just
thicker.
put another set of wheels with bigger tires, and you can go out and do that as well.
Oh, that's good. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
So you have the flexibility of doing both.
Yeah. More like CX, we call it here.
Yeah,
Cyclocross.
like 6. Actually, recently, one of our Australian riders won the Australian under 23 CX on an AO.
Really?
Yeah, so that was a great result for
Oh,
us.
that's good, man. Oh, unbelievable. Thank you so much for having us
You're
today. Do you have like any message to the audience back home?
Yeah, I'd just like to say that, I've been here about almost just over a week, and I've thoroughly enjoyed myself. I've had the chance to ride in Jakarta through the traffic, which is pretty crazy, right? But thankfully I've had a good host here that's showed me how to ride in the traffic.
Oh, that's good.
Because we're not used to that in New Zealand, right? But then on top of that, we had the chance to go to Jogja, and everybody keeps telling me Jogja is like
Jogja is
the
like
place to be, right?
heaven.
So the riding there was really, really good, and then also in Bandung. But I'd really like to spend more time here. I mean, unfortunately, our business is very global, so my time is spread across many different countries. But definitely, if I have the chance, I'd like to come back and ride more and meet new people and explore the country because you have such beautiful terrain here. You know, and I met a few people. Like
Really?
There was a guy called Bob in.
Oh, Bob, yeah. Oh, yeah,
everybody
legend.
tells me this is the guy, and he's been riding all around the country.
Yes.
You know, and it's just the stories that he has and the photographs that he showed me.
Amazing.
Just incredible. I mean,
Amazing. He just finished 3,000 and 1,200K.
yeah, I mean, that's not for me. That's a lot of
for
hard
me.
work.
That's not for me.
But to be able to see this country, you know,
Yeah.
on a bike,
On a bike.
is a great experience.
Yes.
So I'd like to be able to do some more of that. when I
You
come
should.
back.
You should.
Yeah.
Thank you. Really, thank you. It's been an honor having you here with us today.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Gue penutupannya pakai bahasa Inggris bingung gua.
Bahasa Inggris dong.
Gaya itu pilihan, sehat itu keharusan. Gaya berkendara.